Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of Georgia Gwinnett College, our fellow Grizzly family. We are back not only for the Grizzly Talk Podcast, which is streaming on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and iTunes, but we are back for the hit series of the Grizzly Talk Podcast Greenscenes. What that is we're adding some video content for you guys on our IGTV. You guys made it possible. You guys been liking the last couple of episodes, so I thought maybe we can just keep on rolling with it because you guys been enjoying it, and I can never been so proud of the RSO thus far, reaching over 1,000 followers for our Instagram, of course, to be exact, 1,191 followers. So you guys made it possible, and honestly, you made it possible. I talked about it today. I was talking to a girl that's also in our class, but she is representing the Student Fashion Association. Marianne, she is a sweetheart, I want to say. We talked about it because the reason why we talked to her and had a meeting with her because we're getting ready for her special podcast for the Student Fashion Association, which will be having their it's called Retro Fashion Show, November 5th. So, and I was telling her we made this possible with the following and the growth. You guys made it possible here. You GGC, fellow Grizzlies, you made it possible for us to not only be behind the camera and in front of a mic, but you guys, honestly, I can't express, words cannot express the success for you guys. So, we're going to get on to the news announcements here for this as we get ready for the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about halfway through with the semester. It's been a journey. This semester has been a very rocking semester as terms of the RSO forming and also with classes. So a little words of encouragement for you GGC students. You're halfway there. You're almost there. As soon as I leave the studio here today, I'm going to go study. I'm going to my office. I'm going to go study for my next exam. That's how that drive that keeps me going. So for you guys out there, I really recommend that, you got it. I know exams are coming up and then finals will be here. A lot of people are forming into groups for their presentation. I have about 2 groups that I'm in right now doing presentations and reports. So it's a grind. So I really recommend you guys. Don't forget though, for you fellow Grizzly family out there, I know exams and presentations are on the horizon. Just remember to reflect, guys. Remember to reflect. Take a breather, join RSOs, go to events, and also meditate. I mentioned this in previous podcasts before, but I really want to reach it out to you guys, the fellow students out there. Meditation is one of the key things that I like to do. I meditate every time I get up in the morning, when I get ready for my day, or when I'm getting ready to take a big exam, like I did today. Had another exam today. I meditated before I took my exam. I ate something and then I meditated. So I really recommend meditation for you guys out there. But if you're really needing some deep help as you're getting ready for these exams and these finals, I recommend you guys go see CAPS, of course, the counseling and CAPS for sure. CAPS will they will help you out and they will help you get through the tough weeks ahead for finals and more things to come. So please, I recommend you guys go see them for sure. They're really helpful for what they're trying to do in terms of that. So, of course, shout out to GGC Athletics. You guys know how we do it. I like to advocate for sure for GGC Athletics. I like to announce when the next game is coming up, y'all. For both the men's and women's, of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course. For the women's side, let's start with the women's first. They will be going against what looks like Lindsey Wilson. If I'm not mistaken, that logo, Lindsey Wilson. Their next game is going to be October 18th at 7 p.m. So I really recommend it. Location will be at home at the Georgia Soccer Complex. So I really recommend it. So you guys, it will be in 2 days, 20 hours, and 34 minutes. GGC Athletics, the website, they got a little counter. That's pretty nice. So that will be the next home game for the women's. And of course, we're going to switch it on over to the men's soccer. Of course, that men's soccer, they're doing it real big for them as well. And then their next game will be, they won't be home. The next game for the men's soccer, they will be going against Talladega Tornadoes. They're going to Talladega, Alabama. October 19th at 4 p.m. So of course they're going to tweet about it, and then they're going to have a link where you can watch the fellas play. But unfortunately they will not be home this week for their next game. So good luck to both the men's and women's soccer teams. Your good old pal Kennedy Patterson, they will be doing it. We'll be cheering you guys on, and I wish you guys very best of luck. GGC Athletics, their podcast is coming up really, really soon. We're getting ready to do their podcast for soccer, and we're getting ready to do a baseball and softball exclusive podcast coming very soon. So you guys stay tuned for that. So the next news announcements for the GTP Greenscenes and also the Grizzly Talk Podcast streaming on iHeart, Spotify, and iTunes. Of course, Caroline Briggs, a shout out to her. She is a GGC student. She took over the GGC Admissions Instagram for the day. It's exciting to see students taking over the GGC community. Of course, her major is information technology, which is really good, and she's the leader for GGC Wesley. I don't think I met her. I met Kat. Kat is a part of GGC Wesley, and we had an exclusive podcast for her on the podcast show way back when. So it's just really, really, really cool to see students passing out, and they're passing on and they're running the Instagram. They took over GGC Admissions GGC Instagram account. That's really cool. I'm thinking about doing that for the fellow students, having them do a takeover for our Instagram for a day. I got to get it approved with my advisor and got to get it approved first, but I think it'd be a cool idea for you guys. Maybe you guys can get on the mic and do some podcasting when you take over. That's going to be very, very awesome for sure. They're going ready. They were at the third floor on Tuesday. They were there at 2 p.m. They were getting ready for their worship on Tuesday. So it's just really cool to see them. I actually saw them setting up that Tuesday too. It was really fun to see them set up and get ready to do their thing. They do this thing weekly too, y'all. It's amazing what GGC Wesley does. It's incredible. Alrighty, so the next news announcement goes out to the GGC Intramural Sports. Also a part of the GGC Wellness and Recreation for sure. Intramural soccer registration dates were they're back in September 29th all the way to October 18th. Of course, the league days are going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. October 15th through November 21st, located in the intramural fields, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So true story, I was leaving campus Tuesday night and I saw the intramural field lit up like a Christmas tree, and they're getting ready to do their thing for the soccer league. Of course, they've done so many good things for that. They've just wrapped up the Fall Flag Football League. It's really cool to see that because, we mentioned our varsity GGC athletic teams, but I like to also give the shout out to the intramurals because you have students who may not play at the varsity level, but they were able to express their sports side and they were to have a football league. Seeing their Instagram is really amazing. These fellas look like they really got into the football, flag football that league for sure. Could you imagine if GGC had a football team? That would be incredible because seeing these photos, this looks like a legit football team. And even though it's only intramural, these students are really coming out and they're really expressing themselves, and they're enjoying the joyness of football. So of course they're starting the registration for intramural soccer. So again, register y'all if y'all want to be very active and you really want to do it out really big. I recommend that for sure. They also have dodgeball registration up to September 29th now to October 20th. So you guys can register for dodgeball too, just to really get active. Like I mentioned before in this podcast, it's a way to get really active, to decompress from a final exam or a midterm exam and presentations and homework. It's a good way to kind of breathe, and that's what it's all about, breathing. And the last shout out, of course, is coming from GGC Honors, the Honor Society. They are now accepting applications for class representatives right now. If you guys want to do something very extracurriculum for you guys, do something very, very extra within your resume for sure. Of course, representatives would serve on the Leadership Council, and I'm reading the notes here so I don't missay what I'm saying. Serve on the Leadership Council for the rest of the year. Convey the ideas of the class community heads and to Dr. Wander. Hopefully I pronounced that last name right. I'm sorry, Doctor. Receive free breakfast once a month. Free breakfast once a month? I mean, come on, y'all. Volunteer hours and great hands-on experience. So a really cool thing to really get involved here at GGC. I encourage everyone to get involved on the campus because that's what it's all about. It's about getting involved for the college campus, and you're doing your thing up there, and it's just really becoming very, very active. So I really recommend it for you guys for sure. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's news announcement here on the Grizzly Talk Podcast and GTP Greenscenes. Again, before we close out, I want to say thank you to the Grizzly family. We're still rolling with GTP. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I mentioned this in the last podcast, but again, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I encourage all the RSOs to take that challenge to change the logo to the color of pink in represents of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I saw quite a few people that have done it. OLOS have done it. We have done it, and I think there was another RSO, I can't remember right now, that also changed their logo to pink to represent and to know that they know about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You guys can go on the facts online to really understand that concept and the core values of knowing the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that's going to wrap it up here on the Grizzly Talk Podcast with your host, Kennedy Patterson. Until then, I will see you guys in the next podcast. Thank you for staying tuned.